Welcome to Mystic Chronicles of Old. Tonight, wander to Heian, Kyoto, where a cursed katana's whispers bind a poet to restless spirits. Can she quell their sorrow? Subscribe now, and let this tale of mystery and magic lull you into dreams. In the 10th century, Kyoto blooms as Heian Japan's capital, its cherry blossom lanes winding past lacquered palaces. Bamboo groves sway under moonlight, while temple bells hum with priests' chants. Markets pulse with silk traders and scribes, their voices mingling with the Kamo River's flow. Deep within the shrine of silent blades, a cursed katana rests, its steel etched with spiraling clouds, whispering faintly, said to hold the grief of lost spirits. Legends claim it speaks truths, but binds its keeper to endless sorrow, never to find peace. Kaide, a poet of 25 springs, knows these tales from her mother's verses. Her ink-dark eyes, sharp as a quill, trace the world's rhythms, while her delicate hands weave words into songs. Once a court scribe, she trusts poetry over ritual, her spirit tied to the wind's cadence. The blade's whispers haunt her dreams, a voice she cannot name, calling her to the shrine. High Priestess Amaya seals the shrine's inner hall, her voice like frost, but Kaide's heart outshines fear. As dusk cloaks Kyoto, she glides through its alleys, her purpose a quiet flame. Her silk kimono brushes the earth, her sandals silent on stone paths. The air carries a faint tremor, as if the river senses her intent to face a relic older than the Emperor's gods. Kaide pauses at the shrine's torii gate, her breath steady, clutching a jade hairpin, her mother's keepsake. She is no warrior, but a poet driven to unravel the divine, seeking truths where others see only sacred peril. The shrine's lanterns flicker, casting shadows of cranes, yet Kaide steps forward, her hairpin a quiet anchor. The wind carries whispers of rain, but the blade's voice grows clearer, a song of sorrow that could shift Kyoto's fragile harmony, pulling her toward a destiny she cannot yet comprehend. The Whispering Blade is Kyoto's hidden grief, shared by poets in lantern-lit halls, its tale older than Heian's courts. Long ago, a samurai named Haruka forged the katana, offering her spirit to appease vengeful ghosts after a clan's fall. The blade absorbed their sorrow, its steel whispering their pain, but bound Haruka's soul to eternal mourning, her mind lost to their voices. Priests hid the katana in the shrine, its scabbard carved with warnings. Listen and carry their grief. Those who held it wept endlessly, their hearts tethered to spirits' cries. Kaide learned this from her mother, whose poems wove loss and caution, her voice soft as she mixed ink. Her friend, a monk named Taro, urged restraint, his prayer beats clicking. "The spirits don't release their own, Kaide," he said, his gaze heavy. But Kaide, who heard the wind's verses, felt the blade's whispers. its voices alive in her dreams, weaving images of snow and blood. She saw Amaya's fear, her hands clutching a sutra as she spoke of the blade's guardian, a shade born of Haruka's sacrifice, bound to its steel heart. To Kade, it was a poem to complete, not a curse. Now she passes the shrine's torii, her jade hairpin brushing her hair, Kyoto's hum fading into silence. The blade's whispers sharpen, a song of divine sorrow laced with mortal risk, stirring her poet's heart with dread and resolve. She enters the shrine's outer court, where cherry petals drift, their shadows swaying like spirits. Katie's hairpin pulses faintly, a soft warmth against the chill, her only ward against the blade's pull. She is no priestess, but a poet who trusts her words' rhythm, her courage tested by spirit's unrelenting grief. The air grows heavy, the hairpin's jade stirring as if alive, guiding her toward the hall where sorrow and song entwine. Shadows coil, the shrine's silence oppressive, as Kaidi steps closer to the blade's domain, her heart alight with the promise of verses that could reshape her bond with the divine. Kaide crosses the shrine of silent blades, its cedar halls quiet, save for the flicker of oil lamps. Carvings of cranes and clouds glow in the light, their forms vivid yet watchful, as if guarding the blade's secrets. She has penned poems here, but tonight the shrine feels alive, its timbers humming with a rhythm older than sutras. Her jade hairpin glows softly, its warmth a faint pulse at her scalp, a fragile shield against the shadows, curling at the edges of her vision. The blade's hall lies beyond a shoji screen, etched with spiraling clouds, their faint shimmer casting eerie patterns. Katie slides the screen with steady fingers, her breath calm, revealing a passage where the whispers grow sharper, like a distant elegy. She is no samurai, but a poet drawn to the divine through words, her steps guided by instinct. The blade's song weaves through her bones, a lament of loss and peril. Taro's warning echoes. The blade sings your heart first. Priests spoke of Haruka's shade, a guardian born of her bound soul, its will a divine trap. Kata grips her hairpin, its jade trembling, dismissing fear as a verse to rewrite. The passage narrows, its walls closing in, the clouds whispering in a tongue older than kanji, their voices echoing the blade's relentless call. The hairpin pulses faster, as if sensing the hall's heart, a beacon in the shrine's stillness. Kaida presses forward, her kimono brushing the wood, her resolve a quiet rhythm. The air grows dense, the whispers now a clear melody, echoing the river's flow. She pauses at the hall's threshold, feeling a presence, formless yet heavy, like mist before dawn. Kade whispers a poem to the wind, her voice firm, her ink-dark eyes scanning the darkness. The blade's light spills faintly from within, a steel glow that bends the air, promising truth and ruin. The shrine's melody swells, its divine will stirring. As Katie steps into the hall, her hairpin and words her only guides against the katana's enchanted whispers. The hall is a chamber of polished cedar, its ceiling carved with stars, the Whispering Blade at its core, a katana on a lacquered stand, its steel etched with clouds, glowing faintly like moonlight on snow. The air thrums with a low, mournful hum, sharp as a reed, prickling Kaide's skin like frost. Clouds on the walls pulse in rhythm with the blade's glow, as if the chamber breathes. Her jade hairpin burns at her scalp, its light a faint echo of the steel's fire, a frail ward against its pull. Kaide circles the stand, noting the floor's inlaid cranes, their patterns ancient and fluid, radiating a force that stirs her pulse. No offerings lie here, only the katana, its whispers weaving verses she cannot name, older than Kyoto's gods. She has crafted poems for emperors, but this tests her spirit, a song that could bind her forever. Kaide imagines the blade's gift, words to heal the spirits, a voice for their grief. Yet the priest's tales haunt her. Keepers turn to shadows, their hearts chained to endless sorrow. She leans closer, the blade's glow weaving visions of snow and blood, pulling at her heart like the Kamo's current. A voice, soft and grieving, rises from the katana. Poet, you seek my song, but it claims all who hear. The air tightens, clouds flare with searing light, and shadows spill from the blade, shapeless yet alive, swirling like mist. Kaide steps back, her hairpin blazing, her ink-dark eyes wide but steady. She senses the guardian, Haruka's shade, a presence woven into the blade's light, its will a divine force. The hairpin pulses wildly, as if urging retreat, but Kaide holds her ground, whispering a poem to steady her rhythm. The shadows dance, the katana's hum rising to a piercing wail as the chamber judges her intent. Kaide's instinct screams to turn away, but the glow locks with her gaze, its visions flooding her mind. A torrent of spirit's grief that threatens to drown her in their endless pain, pulling her deeper into the blade's unyielding lament. The katana's clouds blaze, and Haruka's shade emerges, a formless veil of silver mist, its edges sharp as steel, pulsing with starlight. Its voice, a chorus of mourners, fills the chamber. You chase my song, poet, but it binds all to sorrow. Kaide grips her hairpin, its heat scorching her scalp, a flickering light against the shade's tide. The mist surges, tendrils snapping like threads, their tips grazing her kimono, leaving singed silk. Kaide ducks behind the stand, her heart racing as the tendrils carve grooves in the cedar, their touch cold as winter. The clouds blaze, the blades glow, twisting into jagged patterns as if fueled by her presence. Her mind reels. She weaves verses, not wars, yet faces a force born of divine grief. The shade weaves visions into her thoughts. Haruka forging the blade, her prayers calming spirits, her cries swallowed as their sorrow claimed her soul. Flee or weep forever, the shade sings, its mourners coiling around her will. Kaide, unbowed, raises her hairpin, its light flares, scattering the tendrils briefly, their forms wavering like fog. The shade pauses, its misty form pulsing slower, as if the hairpin's power stirs a lost memory. Kaide senses a crack in its divine sorrow, a thread of Haruka's regret woven into its form. The tendrils rally, lunging faster, but she weaves between them, her movements guided by the wind's rhythm, her ink-dark eyes fierce. The blade's visions intensify, clans falling, snow-burying graves, threatening to pull her mind apart. Kaide clings to her hairpin, its jade now cracked, and recites a poem of spring, her voice a defiant note in the chaos. The shade's mist thickens, its mourners promising peace if she yields. But Kaide resists, knowing surrender means oblivion. The chamber quakes, the katana's wail deafening. As the shade presses closer, its formless mass a wall of divine judgment. Her hairpin pulses with the clouds, a faint guide through the storm, as Kaide faces the blade's guardian, her spirit a fragile verse against the spirit's relentless grief. The tendrils coil, ready to strike, and Kaide braces for a battle that tests her poet's heart. Kaide sidesteps a tendril strike, its edge slicing the air as the chamber trembles, cedar dust drifting like snow. The clouds pulse erratically, their silver light fracturing, mirroring the katana's chaotic hum. Haruka's shade looms, its misty form pulsing, as if weighing Kaide's verses against the blade's divine sorrow. Her hairpin burns, its light etching faint cranes on her skin, echoing the katana's ancient clouds, as if tied to its power. The blade's visions flood her mind, graves under snow, spirits weeping, Kyoto's gods silent, each image a burden that threatens to break her spirit. Her poet's instinct rebels, sensing a trap within the song, a divine lure to steal her soul. The shade's mourners grow louder, offering peace if she joins their lament. But Kaide knows the cost. Haruka's fate, her soul bound to endless grief. She glimpses Haruka's truth, not duty, but love for her clan. Her blade a plea to heal their spirits, her soul trapped by their pain. The katana feeds on devotion, and Kaide's poetry makes her its prey. She lunges for a floor crane, scraping it with her hairpin's cracked jade, its ash sparking against the wood. The katana's hum falters, a jagged pause, and the shade shrieks, its mist contracting in pain. The tendrils waver, their strikes slowing, as if the crane's disruption weakens the blade's hold. You cannot silence my song, the shade hums, its voice fracturing. Kaide, unyielding, traces another crane, her hairpin guiding her trembling hand, its light a beacon in the storm. The katana's glow dims, its visions flickering, tempting her with one last image. A healed Kyoto, spirits at rest. She resists, her verses her shield, knowing the image is a lie to claim her soul. The chamber groans, the air thick with divine resistance as the katana fights to keep her, its silver light pulsing defiantly. Kaide recites, her voice a steady flow, drawing on the wind's cadence to ground her. The shade's tendrils lash out, but she weaves through them, determined to break the curse or perish in its song. Her heart a battlefield of love and defiance against the spirit's relentless will. The chamber chamber quakes, cracks splitting the cedar as Kaide traces another crane, her hairpin's ash-streaked jade sparking against the wood. The katana's hum fractures, the shade's tendrils dissolving into wisps, their misty forms fading like mist in dawn's light. Haruka's shade pulses violently, its silver mist coiling tighter, its mourners now a desperate plea. My blade holds my love, poet. Free it, or we both weep. Kaide pauses, her breath sharp. She found the hairpin in her mother's chest, carved with jade, never suspecting its power. Now it is her only weapon against a divine trap. She raises it high, its light cutting through the shade, forcing the mist to writhe in agony, its form fraying at the edges. Visions clarify. Haruka, driven by love for her clan, forged the blade to heal their spirits, her soul snared by its clouds, her love birthing the shade. Kaide's pulse races. She is no samurai, but her poet's heart senses a path. She circles the stand, etching a final crane with the hairpin's scorched tip, its light carving deep into the wood. The katana shudders, its silver glow collapsing, its visions fading to silence. The shade lunges, tendrils flaring, but Kaide weaves aside, her movements fluid, honed by years of crafting verses. The tendrils graze her arm, leaving icy burns, but she stands firm, her ink-dark eyes blazing. The shade's voice cracks, "You'll doom us to silence." Kaide, resolute, presses the hairpin against the katana's clouds, its light flaring white, searing the steel surface. The blade cracks, a single fracture splitting its heart, and the shade screams, its mist unraveling into sparks. The chamber's air clears, the clouds dimming as the katana's power fades, its divine grip loosening under Kaide's unyielding will. Her hairpin crumbles to ash, its power spent, but she feels the wind's pulse steady, as if the land breathes with her. The shade's last mournful note fades, a sigh of release, as Kaide stands alone, her poet's spirit unbroken. The blade's sorrow no longer a threat, but a lesson carved into her heart, guiding her path forward. The katana's silver glow dies, its cracked steel dull, the chamber silent as the clouds fade to cold wood. Haruka's shade is gone, its mist dissolved, leaving only a faint hum, like a distant river's echo. The air lightens, the oppressive weight lifting, as if the shrine exhales. Kaide's hairpin is ash, scattered across the cranes, its remnants a reminder of the divine battle she waged. The visions are gone, Haruka's desperate love, Kyoto's spirits, the gods' silence. Kaide exhales, her hands trembling, her delicate fingers brushing the burns on her arm, now mere scars. She is no savior, just a poet who faced spirit's grief and lived, her spirit tempered by the blade's song. The chamber groans, cracks widening, urging her to flee. She slips from the hall, navigating the passage with careful steps, the air now soft with dawn's warmth. Outside, Kyoto stirs. The Kamo River bathed in gold, its markets unaware of the shrine's fall. Kaide knows the priests will find the katana broken, its curse lifted, and weave tales of divine mercy, never suspecting her hand. Her reward is not glory, but clarity, a truth too vast for sutras, a secret she'll guard in silence. She pauses at the shrine's edge, her ink-dark eyes tracing the horizon, her heart steady but heavy with the blade's lessons. The river feels alive, its pulse stronger, as if Kyoto whispers gratitude for her unseen triumph. Kaide breathes deeply, the scent of cherry and earth grounding her, her spirit tied to the wind she freed. Kaide blends into Kyoto's morning bustle, her kimono singed, her arms scarred, the ash of her hairpin a hidden weight in her pouch. Markets pulse with life, vendors hawking silk and ink, oblivious to the shrine's ruin. She finds Taro at his temple, his eyes widening at her weary face and burnt silk. "You're alive," he says, his voice soft, offering her a bowl of tea. Kaide smiles faintly, tossing him a cherry petal from the shrine. She remains a poet with deft hands, even after divine trials. She sidesteps Taro's questions, sipping tea, her silence a shield for truths too heavy to share. The priests will spin myths of the blade's end, never naming her, and she prefers it so, seeking only the wind's quiet rhythm. At a paper stall, she hears a child recite Haruka's tale, now laced with spirits and snow, the truth fading into legend. Kaide laughs softly, her ink-dark eyes glinting, the scars on her arm her only mark of a night that reshaped her soul. Taro probes, his voice gentle but persistent, but she shrugs, deflecting with a nod, her heart guarding the blade's secrets. The city's air feels cleaner, its divine weight lifted, as if Kyoto breathes with her victory, a silent song in the dawn. Kaide returns to her quill, her hands steady, crafting poems for the court, her spirit anchored by the wind's pulse. The blossoms sway, their petals calm, while the curious or lost seek the shrine, chasing tales born of her quiet triumph, unaware of the poet who faced spirit's grief in the shadowed heart of the city. Her verses both her guide and her burden. Kaide settles into Kyoto's rhythm, her poetry sharper, the scars on her arm a silent testament to her trial. The priests seal the shrine, their chants praising the gods, blind to her role in their miracle. The Whispering Blade's legend grows, traders weaving tales of a nameless poet who faced spirit's sorrow, their stories blooming with snow and cranes, though none named Katie, who fades into the city's hum. She listens, her delicate hands steady, amused by myth's swift growth, its truths buried in her silence. Some say Haruka's soul found peace, freed from the blade's clouds. Others claim the steel shards hold dormant power, waiting for new ears. The wind breathes easier, its breezes softer, as if Kyoto honors her unseen deed. Kaide dreams of the blade's visions, graves in snow, silent gods, but wakes calm, her poet's heart firm. Taro teases her for secrets, his temple glowing, but Kaide offers only smiles, her ink-dark eyes guarding a truth too vast for words. The scars fade, but their weight remains, a reminder of the divine line she crossed. The wind's pulse guides her, its whispers carrying new verses. while seekers chase the shrine's myths, blind to the poet who tamed its curse. Kade crafts her poems, her spirit deeper, forged in the blade's sorrow, her quill tracing futures as the blossoms watch. The city's lanterns burn, their glow a quiet hymn to her triumph, as she writes in silence, her eyes tracing the skies for signs of the god's next song. Thank you for joining Mystic Chronicles of Old. Subscribe, hit the bell, and comment. What relic awaits discovery next? Embrace the unknown, or heed the spirit's silent grief, for their truths linger in Kyoto's winds, whispering of mysteries yet to unfold. Thank you for exploring Mystic Chronicles of Old. If the Whispering Blade's sorrow stirred your soul, subscribe for more mystical bedtime stories. Comment below. What relic calls next? Until then, let Kyoto's winds guide your dreams.